Test, test. Okay.
Def Noodles has made a lot of mistakes during his online career, but picking a fight with Charlie over some friendly criticism was by far the worst.
Greatest crime that I committed was to have caused the great moist critical to cringe. I have unfortunately committed the most heinous sin a YouTuber can commit in their careers.
Combine this with Def Noodles refusing to take accountability and listen to the voice of reason.
Why make yet another video rolling around in your own personal drama and posting it on your channel? That is self-destructive. That is a downward spiral. Your audience doesn't want to keep seeing you do this. I don't want to see you making videos like this because it's just not a good look.
It's no wonder why his channel had a 98% decline in viewership that ultimately forced him to delete his entire online presence. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be delving into the unhinged career of Def Noodles, a creator that thought it would be better to burn his reputation, credibility, and fan base to the ground instead of accepting criticism. Def Noodles, whose real name is Dennis Vitoza, built an audience.
Hello and welcome to the stream, people. We're just chilling out. Hello, welcome to the stream. Please, if you want to, please just send the stream to people. I want to talk to people. Right now we're just doing it. We're not doing it. Fuck. We're just chilling out, watching videos, and I'm not gonna full screen them because then you get, yeah. But you'll still be able to see like the channel. So like I'm still getting, so like they're still getting their credit. I'm not gonna become like Sniper Wolf who just sits there doing nothing. Roll, no spam. I think you meant to say rule. Please, I mean, spam if you want, just don't be like obnoxious.
Of over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube by creating videos that blended commentary, comedy, and news reporting. Throughout his time on YouTube, Dennis was obsessed with becoming a stand-up comedian.
I just took a
The hell?
So obsessed, he'd weave edgy jokes when making commentary on serious topics, and even told a viewer to, quote, "Go educate yourself at the end of the barrel of a loaded shotgun," unquote, after they told him to improve his comedy skills. Fortunately for Dennis, he'd get the opportunity to try his hand at a comedy venue that he rented and renovated sometime in 2022. He planned on using the space to host his first Super Roast Battle, which was meant to be an engaging comedy-filled night, with comedians or YouTubers performing roasts on each other. Dennis even used the tagline "pull up or shut up" in his promotional material to provoke people into attending what he thought would be the show of a lifetime.
You're all doing amazing today. There are only
No
a
clue who
couple
that
of tickets
is.
left for the roast. Make sure you get them before they're gone. This roast will be the first show that we're doing in this comedy club that I just built. It'll feature some of the best comics in Los Angeles, so make sure you get the tickets to the roast before they're completely gone.
No clue
However, the
who
event would fall far
Gabo
below not
is
just
or
Dennis's
Ron the cool
expectations,
animator.
but the
Wait.
expectations of everyone else.
Okay, chat. Even though this is like even though this is like terrible for me, and I'm like 15, I don't care. Oh, it's premiering at 5? That's like in 10 minutes. Okay, well.
Else on the internet. On the 19th of August
This is-
2022,
okay, I thought it said
Dennis
this
live streamed the roast battle to his YouTube and Twitch channels, and from the very start, the show was destined for failure. For the first couple minutes, the show was plagued by technical issues, leaving members of the audience to wait in the dark for a show that they'd already paid for. Even after Dennis and his team had gotten things in order, the atmosphere still showed no signs of improvement.
All right, LA, are you ready? You ready? Hey, Steven, I don't think these motherfuckers are ready. Are y'all ready? Okay, I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't think we're gonna do the show anymore. This crowd's like they're all asleep.
A majority of the show was just random people getting up on stage to deliver lackluster comments about each other's appearance.
It looks like his middle name is Rainbow.
Brando looks like the girl at public school who tries to act hard and then goes home to a mansion.
The finale didn't seem much better, as Dennis faced off with the winner of the previous battles and performed worse than everyone that came before him.
You're like my cousin if you were a girl.
Thank you. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos.
I did. Are you from Detroit?
Take a guess.
No. I'm bombing so bad, and I don't give a fuck.
Neither do I, bro. Come on, we in it together,
Wait.
doggy.
Eventually, Dennis gave up on trying to be funny and begrudgingly awarded his opponent the win.
You know what? I'm just gonna go out. I'm gonna bring the fucking check.
Why do I win? I thought
Because you won the
Hunter
roast battle.
To no one's surprise, the roast battle was a complete disaster, and to add salt to the wound, Dennis received a week-long ban on Twitch because one of the participants had used the F slur. However, this wouldn't be the part that affected Dennis the
welcome to the
most,
stream.
as Moist Critical, aka Penguin Zero, aka Charlie, caught wind of the event and gave a few roasts of his own.
Keep in mind, these are strangers. These two people have never met until they walked out on the stage together. So they can't actually roast each other. All they can do is insult each other's appearance, and it is painful. It is so hard to listen to. Obviously no rehearsal or anything. Same with Def Noodles. He's the host and he has no fucking clue what's going on. Started 27 minutes late, and it is an absolute joy.
By the 21st of August
There we go.
2022, Charlie published a video titled "I've Never Seen Anything This Horrible," in which he shared Dennis's latest blunder to over 4 million viewers.
An event that he was hosting finally happened, which is this, the Super Roast Battles. It's an event he was hyping up for weeks, talking about how it's going to be the next big thing, it's going to be like a really big popular event, it's going to be great. He was even trying to goad some YouTubers into coming on to like settle their beef in a roast battle.
Good idea.
None of them showed up. In fact, almost nobody in general showed up. As you can see, it's not exactly like a sold out stadium here. It's about 10 family and friends. And this was a complete fucking disaster.
It does look like it
Imagine
would be a
Fyre
disaster.
Festival, but if it actually happened and was worse than anyone could have imagined.
Charlie went on to point out the numerous flaws in the event, from the glaring technical issues.
The first 27 minutes, the event doesn't even start. They just like cycle through YouTube playlists of rap
that's
or
trash.
popular music. So they didn't start on time. People just sit here doing fucking nothing for 26 minutes listening to bad music.
To assembling random comedians who had prepared no material to work with.
What he did is he assembled a few people who said they've told a joke before in their life, and he had them roast each other. Nobody knew each other, literally nobody. So all they can do is roast each other's appearance because they don't know they don't know them. They're
Yeah,
random
honestly,
people that
they-
got together and told them.
Alright, so if you're gonna host an event like this, I'd personally say I would personally say you gotta at least get the contestants to meet with each other so that they can prepare. Because then that just makes it terrible.
To roast each other.
However, the detail that stood out to Charlie the most was Dennis's obvious insecurities with not being that funny.
He's not even like making retorts. He's just feeling insecure now. He's like, "You win, please stop. I'm dead. Please, God, stop. Now you're just hurting my feelings. You're fired."
Dennis's attempt to take his comedy career to the next level had fallen flat, and everyone on YouTube was mocking him for it. But that didn't mean his dreams of being a good comic were over. In fact, if Dennis could take the criticism with grace and use it to make his next show more entertaining, perhaps this story would have ended a little differently. Unfortunately, Dennis saw a different path that didn't involve improving on his mistake, but rather making more of them. On the 22nd of August 2022, Dennis would upload a now-deleted response to Charlie titled "My apology to Moist Critical for first Super Roast Battles," which only served to harm his reputation even further.
Well, I am thoroughly disappointed that I dared to put on something together for my fans and that the ones who attended thoroughly enjoyed the experience, or so they told me. I'm appalled that I could be such a fool to think that I could fulfill my job and be in entertainment when in fact I am nothing of the sort. I am not a comedian. I'm not even a human. I am just a clump of cells currently existing and spewing raw bullshit that I'm reading directly from a prompter for your entertainment. I am sitting here ludicrously buckling to my knees, self-deprecatingly acquiescing to the oh-so-great Moist Critical because you didn't like my roast.
Dennis clearly didn't like the fact that Charlie and many commentators had given valid criticism towards his roast battle, and was now using a veil of satire to hide it.
Boy, Mr. Moist Critical, I thank you for your profound observations. I thank you for showing me the light. I will once again produce a super roast battle 2 weeks from now so we can wrong every right that was left unturned.
While Dennis would later retract many of his poorly thought out comments, he had already started something he couldn't finish, as Charlie uploaded another video titled My Response to the Drama.
I don't want this to be construed as some kind of personal attack or anything personal. Like I said when talking about the event, I don't really know Def Noodles. I don't hate him. I've only seen a couple of things on Twitter where he said or did some bad shit that people were dunking on him for.
Charlie went on to analyze Dennis's framing of the situation as allegations.
Here we are once again, addressing more allegations.
This is such a weird way of starting the video because I didn't make any allegations against him. I made jokes about the event and talked about it.
As well as mentioning the damage that he was doing to his fan base and career.
When he posted this video, he lost 3,000 subscribers over the course of 6 hours because, again, his fan base didn't sign up to hear him throw these like self-pity parties here.
In an effort to extend an olive branch to Dennis, Charlie would draw attention to his tendency to make matters worse by impulsively responding to any form of criticism and gave some advice on how to overcome it.
Every YouTuber's made a video they regret, obviously. And I think that's what he's going through at the moment, where he's impulsively responding to things that are kind of non-issues.
Dennis had a pattern of giving knee-jerk reactions to criticism and injecting satire or comedic elements into serious discussions. But why was he like this? What happened during Dennis's YouTube career that made him think it would be a good idea to respond to valid criticism with jokes and satirical statements? Dennis's career as a YouTuber began in late 2018, making reaction and commentary videos on various popular Filipino singers. While he initially didn't garner significant viewership, Dennis seemed to enjoy creating videos for a small but loyal fan base.
This is my first video on this channel. I call it Def Noodles because I love noodles, and I also love learning about Filipino culture.
As time passed, Dennis gradually built up confidence as a creator and developed his own signature style of content, which aired more on a comedic side. He also branched out into making Facebook and Reddit meme compilation videos to further boost his growth on YouTube. By September 2019, Dennis had surpassed over 150,000 subscribers and was bold enough to showcase his work to much larger creators, specifically the commentary YouTuber Kavos, during his Make or Break livestream. Unfortunately, he didn't get the reaction he was looking for.
Area 51 raid me. Uh-oh. Where are they?
Oh, wait a minute. God. This guy literally just reads out memes.
This would mark the first time Dennis faced any real critique, and it was apparent he wasn't comfortable with it, as he later uploaded a video titled, Kavos Roasted My Channel, My Response.
You know, that's totally fine. I totally get it. Outside of the fact that I'm a douchebag, I don't find myself to be a douchebag. I don't know what in my video caused you to think that I'm a douchebag, but I totally understand that, and that's totally your prerogative.
The entire video was of Dennis deflecting every piece of constructive advice that Kavos offered to protect his ego. Despite how much Kavos's comments had affected him, Dennis would try to brush it off by stating,
Thankfully, I'm at a point in my life where I have self-confidence, and I'm not going to place my entire self-worth on someone else's opinion of me.
However, a week later, Dennis showed his true feelings on the matter with a now deleted video titled, Kavos Made Me Want to Quit YouTube. In Dennis's mind, there was no room for negative feedback towards anything he created, and anyone giving such feedback could not see the true value of his content. Even now, he was deluding himself into thinking that there was nothing wrong with his videos and that Kavos was simply being malicious. Dennis failed to understand that criticism was part of being a content creator, and he was about to be taught that lesson the hard way. In response to the criticism from Kavos, Dennis would completely switch up his style of content, from meme reactions to reporting and publishing news stories.
The internet is just one big sandcastle that keeps getting destroyed. With Jeffree Star getting exposed for allegedly stealing from a small makeup brand, things getting even worse for David Dobrik, and Vlog Squad member Jeff Wittick making an apology video, which ends up being an attack video on Trisha Paytas and the author of the Insider article.
Naturally, covering such topics would ultimately result in some form of negative feedback, which was something Dennis simply couldn't stand. To protect his ego, Dennis would include the following disclaimer in his channel's About section. Def Noodles is a character created by Dennis Vitoza meant to satirize some of the most deranged, toxic, and destructive aspects of internet culture. The opinions and thoughts expressed by Def Noodles are not a reflection of Dennis Vitoza's beliefs. In theory, this would protect Dennis from any backlash he incurred while covering various topics, and Dennis was certainly going to need said protection. As he went about spreading news headlines, he also earned a reputation for misrepresenting not just facts about the stories he covered, but the people involved.
Today could very well be my last day in Parkour Civilization. If I want to save the world, I'll have to risk everything. I was the one who let the parkour villain escape, and if he gets his hands on the command blocks, he'll be able to destroy the world. So, plan A, I cannot let him get to the top of Parkour Civilization. But it was at that moment I realized my plan might have already been over. I was down at the noob level of Parkour Civilization, but no matter where I looked, I saw nothing. Every building that used to be here was just gone. I could tell by the holes in the ground that a neighborhood used to be here. This was the neighborhood where I grew up in, and it's all gone. I knew that this only meant one thing. The parkour villain has already made it to the top and is using the command blocks to reshape Parkour Civilization. Oh man, this is not good. Well, plan A is out the window. It's time to start thinking of a new one. It's crazy to think that my entire life started in this temple. If I had never failed this one block jump at the beginning, I don't think I would have become the parkour champion that I am today. I might have just lived my life as a parkour pro, comfortable and happy. But where would be the fun in that? At least now I get a near-death experience every 5 minutes, and credit for saving the world. Hopefully twice if I pull this one off. I made it up to the pro level of Parkour Civilization. I looked around and nothing seemed different, except for the fact that, well, the statue didn't have my head anymore. Alright, I'm gonna guess that was a personal design choice by the parkour villain himself. Just like the noob layer, everything I remember from the pro layer was gone, except this layer was different, and now there were buildings that I've never seen before. This is the spot where all of the pro houses should be, but now there's just one platform with parkour jumps on it. And not only that, the parkour jumps are identical to each other. This wasn't just a fight, this was a parkour race. I thought back to what the parkour villain said. He said that he wanted to enlighten the world with his new form of parkour. If I had to guess, I would say he did just that. All of the buildings surrounding the platform looked like prisons, but after checking every one of them, there was no one inside of them. No one was here. I couldn't help but think of two terrible ideas of what happened. Either one, the parkour villain wiped out every pro by himself, or two, he made the parkour pros fight each other. No matter what happened, the fact remains that the prison cells are empty, so that leaves me to believe that the pros are gone. But that doesn't mean that the parkour masters are. If the outcomes I believe happened were true, it makes sense. The parkour pros wouldn't stand a chance against the parkour villain, but the parkour masters know how to fight, and if they can fight, maybe there's a chance that they've been able to stay alive. I made it up to the master level of civilization. Only one more layer and bro, really? My statue got destroyed again? Alright, once I get my hands back on the command blocks, I gotta build like 50 of those. Even though I was on the master level of civilization, everything looked exactly the same as the layer below. The entire parkour city I worked so hard to make was completely wiped out, and once again replaced with a platform that had parkour race courses on it. I looked around but didn't see anybody, but that's when I realized that these prisons were different than the layer below. All of these prison cells still had doors on them. The masters might still be alive.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
Standing directly behind me was the parkour villain himself.
I can only imagine you escaped with the help of the parkour
Wait,
god.
it
That
actually
quite
is
unfortunate.
clumpy.
I wasn't expecting the fight to get here so soon, but here it was. It's time to risk
Hey, Stormy.
everything to save Parkour Civilization. Alright, let's parkour race. This course right here.
I'm afraid not.
Wait, what? Why not? So now you're too scared to fight? What happened to all the stuff you were saying about willing to risk everything? Sounds to me like you think you're gonna lose.
You of all people should know that course is below people like you and I. If I were to race you, the course would be terrifying. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the command blocks to wipe you out for good. You can try to stop me, but it looks like your hands are full.
The parkour villain wasn't even gonna fight me. He was just gonna wipe me out with the command blocks. What did he mean when he said it looks like my hands are full? But at that moment, I heard something, and I looked over at one of the prison cells. One of the doors had opened, and standing in the doorway was a parkour master. He started jumping towards me. Hey, what's going on? Are you alright? What happened to all the other parkour masters? Are they still alive?
I'm sorry, Evbo, but the new champion has ordered me to race you in this parkour course.
He ordered you to race me. Why would you do that?
If I don't, he'll race me himself, and I don't want to end up like the others.
Then don't, okay? Look, as soon as you challenge me to a parkour race, one of us will die, and you're not gonna beat me, so why don't you just give me time to defeat the parkour villain, and then we'll all be okay. Just don't challenge me, and trust me, I can do this.
I'm sorry, Evbo, but racing you seems like my best option to stay alive. I challenge you to a parkour race.
And just like that, after those words were said, I could do nothing. Both of us were locked into a parkour race, meaning once one of us finishes the course, the other one will die, no matter what. This is exactly what the parkour villain wanted. He introduced this illegal form of parkour, and now he gets to watch and laugh as I fight to the death with the people that I'm trying to save. The worst part is that the parkour villain knows that these parkour masters are no match for me. All he wants is to watch me suffer as I eliminate my friends. After doing the last 2 Neo jumps, I knew the parkour race was over. Part of me wanted to just stop right here before the last jump and let the parkour master win, but I knew I couldn't. If I ended my journey right here, then no one would be able to stop the parkour villain, and many more lives would be lost. After I made the final jump of the parkour race, the parkour master was gone, and the fight was over. But the fight against the parkour villain hadn't even begun. If I don't get to the top of parkour civilization quickly enough, the villain will use the command blocks to delete me from this world, and I'll have no chance to save these people. Which means there's no time to waste. The last time I saved the world, I actually had a plan. But now I have no plan, no blocks to fight with, and I just realized I have no way up to the top. Oh, I'm so done for. I didn't even realize that my champion boots were gone, and only the parkour champion can see the path up to the top. But that doesn't mean it's not here. Oh no, I have a really bad idea. Okay, I'm 99% sure this is where the first jump starts. If I get this wrong, well, it was a good life. I jumped into the air expecting to be falling, but I wasn't. The path to the top of parkour civilization was here. I just couldn't see it without my champion boots on. If this idea didn't work, saving the world would have been impossible. But now, it's just slightly less impossible. Oh man, I have to do so many invisible jumps. Oh, this is not gonna be easy. Only thing I could do was rely on my memory of the parkour course up to the top. Luckily, I've made this journey numerous times over the course of my life, but still, jumping on invisible blocks is very much not preferred. Only a few more jumps and I was inside the parkour temple. But with how long this journey has been taking, I feel like I could be deleted in any second. After all, the parkour villain does specialize in racing. I made the final jump and I was inside the parkour temple. With no sign of the parkour villain, I can only assume he made it to the top, which means this could be the end for me. Well, if I randomly disappear, I guess I get to add an invisible parkour course to my list of accomplishments. But I wasn't gone yet. I scaled the temple until I was at the very top. He must be on the command blocks, right? There's no way he... Wait, what is that? On the other side of the parkour temple, there was some structure built, and the parkour villain was waiting for me. So, I take it there's a reason I'm still alive? What, did you want to get one last supervillain monologue before you use the command blocks to wipe me out?
I was never going to defeat you like that. I just needed you to follow me. Now, you will experience the true pain of a parkour race.
I now realized what the structure in front of me was. It was a parkour race, and it would be my last chance to save parkour civilization. Some part of me was relieved, because if I was gonna be deleted by the command blocks, well, I had no plan to stop that. But now, the course of action is simple. Win the parkour race.
This is without a doubt the most difficult race in parkour history. I want you to feel the sense of dread as you watch me get closer and closer to the finish line, knowing no matter how hard you try, you will never catch up to me. I commend you for making it this far, but I cannot entertain this any longer. Let's begin.
This was it. the hardest parkour race in history, against one of the most fearsome parkour fighters of all time. There's nothing to save me now. Miss one jump and it's over. Make the jump slower than the parkour villain and I die. Meaning I can't hold anything back in this fight. Maybe I'm not good enough to beat the parkour villain, but someone once told me that as long as you can parkour, there is always a way. The parkour race had begun. I did the first 3 jumps without stopping, but the parkour villain had matched my speed. This race was only gonna get more difficult, and the only way I could get a lead on the parkour villain is by doing the most difficult jumps with virtually no stopping. I barely stayed on after the ice block jump, and now it was time for a chain neo, which the parkour villain did effortlessly. I made the chain neo myself and made the drop down to the ladder. It was time to speed things up. I made a 4.5 block jump into a 6.5 block jump onto a candle. Now was my time to take the lead. I quickly made the 2 block neo jump and immediately went onto the glass jumps. The parkour villain told me I lost the battle with him before because of my inability to risk everything I had. But right now, in this battle, I wasn't holding anything back. I stopped at a difficult neo jump. I needed momentum for this. I looked back and I had a sizable lead against the parkour villain. I could do this. I went backwards 1 jump and used the momentum to make the 3 block neo jump. This was my time. This was my... And that's when my heart dropped. The feeling of hope I had in this battle came and went in seconds. My side of the parkour battle wasn't finished, and the end to the race was just a few jumps away. I was set up from the beginning. The parkour villain never intended on me finishing this race. He got what he wanted, and that was to make me suffer. All I could do from this point on was watch as my life slowly came to an end. This was how I was gonna go out. In a few jumps, the parkour villain would make it to the platform, and my life would cease to exist. To be honest, with everything that's happened in my life, I didn't think I would make it this far. With every battle and every parkour course I've had to do, I always thought that a jump would be my last. And you know what? I've made some pretty impossible jumps, which is why I'm not gonna leave Parkour Civilization by just standing still. I'm gonna end this journey with one final jump. So, this is what the end feels like. Wow, feels weird. It feels like I'm still alive. No, but I'm probably dead, right? Yeah, I'm definitely dead. I mean, I jumped into the void. How would I not be dead?
You are very much still alive.
In that moment, I heard a voice that I've heard one time in my life before. It was
Parkour
the
God.
voice of the parkour god. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did you say I'm alive? Wait, how is that even possible?
Why did you jump?
Why did I jump?
You knew there was no block to land on, yet you jumped anyways.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I had no options, and didn't you hear my inner monologue? I kind of wanted that to be my last jump in Parkour Civilization.
That's not it. You were prepared to sacrifice your life for Parkour Civilization, and perhaps I should do the same.
I'm sorry, Mr. Parkour God, but if I'm still alive, does that mean there's still a way I can go back and save the world?
You may leave anytime you want. Just fail a jump and you can go back.
I can go back and save everyone. Thank you, Parkour God. I promise I won't waste this chance.
So eager to leave already? I guess my golly words are of no value to you.
No, that's not it. Sorry, I thought you were done. Please continue.
Throughout my life, I have never bothered to interfere with the events of Parkour Civilization. I was afraid of what might happen if I were to introduce my power to the world.
Wait, but you gave me the champion boots last time I needed to save the world. Didn't you interfere then?
I was merely a messenger. The old man wanted his boots to go to you, and all I did was deliver them.
So why tell me all of this, and why bring me here?
Because I have found my successor. You have convinced me that there are those in this world worthy of wielding my power, and you will continue my legacy by inheriting this power and passing it on to future generations.
Whoa, okay, hold on. You said I will inherit your power? What power is that?
You will become Parkour.
I'm sorry, did you just say become Parkour? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm a godly figure that rarely shows up. I'm not supposed to make any sense.
And just like that, the Parkour God vanished into thin air. I'm gonna inherit the Parkour God's power? What does this even mean? Okay, I guess now's not the time to think about it too much. All that matters now is that I can finish this race and save the world. From the beginning, I've always had to jump to survive. And well, I'm still jumping.
Ooh, animatic.
Oh, how no, did I just do that? Did the parkour god just put the ladder here for me? Oh, I am still alive. I'm still alive. How is this possible? Wait, netherite boots? No, I'm the one who made the ladder.
What? That's impossible.
No, it is definitely possible. Now, let's see how this works. All right, just places I go. This is what parkour should feel like. Okay, what do we have here? I think I can build all that. I can see the finish line. I'm not giving up now. Come on, just 5 more jumps. Let's do this.
First, he had to end it off with a 360.
Oh, it's over. Oh my gosh, it's over. Oh, that one really came down to the wire. I kind of wish someone saw that 360 at the end. That was kind of cool. Oh, my body is sore. My shoulder kind of hurts from that ladder clutch. Should it be hurting? I thought I'm the parkour god now. I feel like I shouldn't be able to feel pain. Can I even die? Should I test it out right now? No, that's a terrible idea. I should not test that out.
Man, why do the command blocks have to be a 4-block jump?
It's not that hard. Come on, you'll get used to it. Besides, you're the new parkour champion. You should be doing that in your sleep. Alright, let's see how this attempt went. Nope, you still messed it up again. Okay, so this time you built barely half a house, and it's also like 50 blocks up in the air. That's fine, don't sweat it. Not everyone gets it on their first try.
I don't get it. I'm thinking of a house, and it's not building the house. Why are these things so hard to use?
Yeah, it's more of an imagination thing. I don't know, you just gotta think harder. I mean, I got it on my first try.
Yeah, of course you did, bro. So, what are you gonna do now that the world doesn't need saving anymore? What are you supposed to do as the parkour god?
That's the thing. I don't have to do anything. If the world needs saving, I'll be there to save it. But for now, I just want to parkour. I've been a parkour noob. I've been a parkour pro. I've been a master. And I've been a parkour champion. And every one of those roles came with expectations about where I should go or what I should do. But now the only one to decide those things for me is myself. So,
how did I
all
know?
I'm gonna do is parkour.
Because look,
and if
it
that
says
leads me back
Cookie
to saving
God,
parkour civilization
and he was
again,
playing
then so
the
be it. From now on, the
parkour
only
god.
path I'm following is my own. I make my own jumps.
I just love how he managed to get an animatic. Make an animatic. And that's all.
In them as well. These misrepresentations include 1. Labeling John Swan as alt-right when covering his drama with Dream. 2. Maliciously framing a clip of Nicholas Diorio as weaponizing his viewers. And 3. Publishing various fake allegations when covering James Charles. Whenever he was rightfully called out for these blunders, Dennis reverted to calling everything satire and that it shouldn't be taken seriously. In essence, Dennis wanted to say anything he wanted about whoever he wanted without any recourse. In addition, Dennis's channel had grown to over 500,000